Hello, and welcome to the channel. The Leaders Coffee Club aims to help educate and grow current and future leaders. In today's video, we are going to discuss the first things every new leader should know. Nothing has a greater impact on your company than leadership abilities. Despite this, it is an overlooked discipline that people are frequently expected to pick up without proper training. Leadership is a difficult job that is half art and half science. It's a daunting challenge, especially the first time you step up as a leader. Here are 5 factors to consider when becoming a great first-time leader. Before we move on to the next step, do like and subscribe to our channel for more informative videos. The mental game is the most difficult. You can read all the books you want about the difficult disciplines of leadership, goal setting, budget management, executive reporting, and so on, but once you start your first leadership position, you'll realize that's the easy part. The human side of leadership is difficult. Insecurities will consume you. Do you think you're doing a good job? Do your coworkers like you? Do they regard you favorably? Why isn't anyone sitting next to you at lunch anymore? The problem is that a leader receives no feedback and has no one to ask for it. As an employee, your manager will tell you how you are doing and how you can improve. But you're supposed to know that as a leader. As a result, you end up in a feedback void. On top of that, you have the impression that you should always know what to do and have a ready answer. The hardest part is feeling lonely. What you should know is that this is both normal and beneficial. It demonstrates your concern. If you don't feel this way when you first start out, you won't be able to be a good boss later. You also need to establish new working relations with your colleagues. You are no longer one of the team, and this is a particularly difficult feeling for almost all new leaders who are promoted to their new position. This distinction is normal. Your former colleague is now wary of saying anything to you. This is a completely understandable reaction on their part. After all, you hold their jobs in your hands and frequently have access to more information. You may even have to make decisions that are beneficial to the company but not to the individual. While it is entirely correct, it does feel lonely. You are no longer a player, instead, you are the coach. It feels so much faster to run towards the goal line than to explain the rules of the game to someone else. That, however, is not scalable. You're no longer a player, you're the coach. This is especially difficult for business owners and entrepreneurs who are accustomed to having their hands on everything. If you want great people to work for you, you must give them the space to excel. Talented people require independence, so your most important job is to set the tone, ensure that the goals are clear, and then step back. You must delegate responsibility rather than tasks. This means that things will not be done exactly as you would have done them, but that is the price of growth and freeing up your time. Focusing involves saying no. Consider this. A global player approaches the CEO. They are offering her company a partnership in which they will lead the company into a new market. The CEO is excited about the opportunity, and even though it is not part of the company's current strategy, it feels too good to pass up. This is where you, as a leader, must demonstrate your worth. I can resist everything except temptation, Oscar Wilde said, and he had a valid point. You've charted the best course for the company. If that can be changed by random external factors, it's not worth the paper it's written on. The CEO should decline life-changing opportunities and keep the company on track. One of the most difficult aspects of being in charge is declining what appear to be good or promising opportunities because they can divert your attention. You don't know for certain that this is the right decision, but for your mental health, you must learn to make quick decisions and stick to them. Sometimes you have to say no thanks to employees who are good but not great, pass up opportunities due to timing and direction, and decline investors to get a better deal later. It's one of the most difficult aspects of being a leader, but it's also one of the most important skills for a CEO. Focusing means doing a few things brilliantly rather than many things poorly. It provides direction and order to the company. Sincere honesty prevents problems from arising. A team member approaches you with a new initiative suggestion. It clearly excites and motivates him. You want your team to be proactive, but you don't believe this is an initiative that should be prioritized over current plans. What should I do? You decline. If this is not the right project for the company right now, you must express your dissatisfaction. It can be said in a supportive manner, explaining why it is not correct so that the employee leaves the conversation with a better understanding of which initiatives to consider in the future. The most important thing your employees need from you is clarity and direction, not agreement. People are entitled to a clear framework in which it is clear what is expected and appreciated. The disadvantage of modern leadership is that many leaders have lost the courage to be candidly honest, which causes confusion and stress in the workplace. So, by attempting to be nice, you end up creating stressful unclarity, which is far worse. I've worked in organizations where leaders did not clearly communicate no's. This leaves the employee perplexed and befuddled. Sometimes the ambiguity leads to the employee investing more time in the project only to have it abruptly shut down, at which point the employee, rightly, feels his time has been completely wasted. A simple answer would have saved everyone time and trouble. Be modest. If you're good at your job, you don't have to brag about it. You don't need to show off your power, and you can afford to let others shine. When something goes wrong, it is your fault as a leader, and it is your team's credit when something goes right. That brings a sense of humility, which is essential for maintaining the balance of power. Consider your employees to be whole people with complex needs. We are constantly racing against the market as a company, which necessitates a high level of urgency. But neither you nor your team can always give it your all. If you want to be able to rely on your team to deliver exceptional results in times of crisis, you must be flexible in other areas. Otherwise, your best employees will burn out or leave. As a leader, I always try to remember that people join companies but quit bosses. The best way to be a boss that people want to work for is to genuinely appreciate and respect their work. So, your job is to maintain laser-like focus, be emphatic toward your people while doing the best for the company and pass on credit and accept blame. Be humble but have balls, as the saying goes.